This year I got my hands on one of the best mice of 2025, the Teevolution Terra, an ergonomic, lightweight mouse with extraordinary performance, a truly exceptional mouse. Exactly what everyone would have expected from Logitech with the G703. After that, what could Teevolution do? These two are the new Genesis Mousepads, the Gravis and the X6. I have spent the last 3 weeks with both of them, and the result really surprised me. The moment I opened the box, the first thing I thought was, wait, did they send me the same pad twice? They are identical. They have a very generous dimension of a 450 x 400mm. The front is completely black. On the back, big green contour lines on a black background with a large Teevolution logo standing out in the center. It's impossible to tell them apart by eye alone. The only way to figure out which is this tiny label in the corner with the name and features. But the real gem of their design is this silicone base. When I placed it down for the first time, I thought, okay, this will never move. And indeed, I was right. Once positioned, it doesn't move anymore. Zero. It's like it's glued down with a double-sided tape. It sticks perfectly everywhere, literally on any surface. And then there are the finely stitched edges. The stitching sits exactly below the surface level. This way, they don't cause any discomfort to the wrist. As for thickness, we are around 5mm. Inside here, there is an insane amount of foam, which makes both pads soft, fluffy like marshmallows, and even after a long session, no wrist discomfort. Okay, all nice, but now here is the good part, the surfacing, because that's where these two pads become two completely different universes. Let's start with the Gravis, and let's get straight to the point. This is not designed to be fast, not at all. On the contrary, it's the exact opposite. It's probably the slowest mousepad I have ever tried in my life. At first, I thought, which buys a pad this slow in 2025, until I started playing. The fabric texture is unique. If you look at it up close, you see this small imperfection which make it rugged by creating insane friction with a mouse's case. Every movement requires intention. It doesn't slide, it doesn't glide. It moves only when you want it to move. The first 2 days were frustrating. I had to completely recalibrate the sensitivity, the movement, everything. My brain kept telling me, move faster, but the pad was slowing me down. And then something clicked. The Gravis slow you down, yes, but in exchange it gives you a surgical control. Every micro correction, every small adjustment becomes easy. The level of precision is comparable to what I get with a glass mousepad, but definitely much more comfortable. And now let's move on to something that will definitely much more popular. After a week with Gravis, I switched to the X6, and I swear, I felt like I was catapulted to the other side of the universe. The texture is woven in the opposite way to the Gravis. Friction is reduced to a minimum. It's like going from sandpaper to silk. My brain was still calibrated to the Gravis, and the X6 was going 3 times faster, maybe even more. After a while, I began to sync with it. It's without a doubt a very fast and extremely balanced pad. While not allowing the same level of control as the Gravis, it amply compensates with a wide, fluid movement and a quick flex, always maintaining a high level of speed. Moreover, after using the Gravis for a week, I actually became better on the X6 too. I developed a level of control I didn't have before. And finally, let's talk about the price. They cost about $40 each. Is that too much? It depends. If we compare them with other mousepad on the market, the quality-price ratio is excellent. The silicone base alone is worth half of the price. But which one should you choose? Gravis or X6? Well, this choice depends only on you, on your playstyle. If you need absolute control and very high precision, you should consider the Gravis. If you prefer instead a more balanced performance with a good speed and fluidity, X6 is the right choice. In any case, whatever your choice, I honestly was surprised by both. Teevolution with the Terra had already shown it know how to make exceptional mice. With the Genesis, Gravis and X6, they are providing they can make exceptional mousepad too. And this might be just the beginning. Huge thanks for watching, and see you all again in the next one.